Supplementation is one of the things that we've been experimenting with more in the last year after the product has kind of hit the ground. We didn't really experiment with that before we started selling it. Some adjusters have never paid for it and probably won't ever pay for it. Other adjusters love it and they pay for it every time. The way that we just tell the story is this is a specialty system. It's a real set of tools. It's not just a tarp off the shelf at Walmart.
Right.
It covers a lot more. It does a lot more. It's much more effective at the job. And a tarp without some sort of rig to set it up doesn't protect shrubs and flowers and bushes. It just doesn't. It may catch the debris you put on top of it, but it's not going to keep any of it from getting crushed or smashed. So I think that's the story we tell when they bring that up. If you just supplement it as a line item, if you just throw the line item in your estimate, you're going to hover around that 5 or 10% success rate. But if you put in the extra effort in your supplementation process, not just for the catch-all, but really everything you're going to try to supplement for, really having those photos and documentation is going to be key for that. I've had guys show me their supplements. They've got $2,000 and $3,000 just for setting it up. And sometimes in a big house, they'll set up 2 of the systems on the same house and they get, a lot of supplements, but a lot of people are charging by the hour, which is how we do it.
Right.
We supplement per roofer labor hour. So it'll show the line item in there, specialty landscape protection, and it'll show somewhere between 4 and 10, maybe sometimes 12 hours, billable hours on there for roofer labor. But our average is around 600 is the average, about 6 hours. Doing some basic math, if you can succeed in your supplements 10% of the time and you use it twice a week, 40 work weeks of the year, that's 80 opportunities to supplement. And if you just get a 10% success rate, if you kind of average it somewhere in the $600 range, 8 times 600, that's $4,800. So you basically double your investment at a very low success rate. If you get up there into the 30% success rate, you'll make 5 or 6 times your ROI on it. And so it is an important topic because it changes the catch-all from just like a kind of convenience and or marketing tool into a revenue generator. Basically what we do is the first initial inspection of the job, which at our company, we take 40 to 60 photos on the initial inspection before we even know whether we're going to get that customer or not. We use those photos in our supplementation process as kind of the before photos, showing the landscaping, the details and fountains and stone pathways and pools, whatever it might be that creates complication for job site protection. Our supplementers pull the job site photos from that stream of photos to justify the usage. Are asked to the adjuster in that storytelling method with showing them the need, why it's necessary on this job, and then showing us actually using it.
Yeah, and a lot of adjusters, if they don't know about it, they're worried, is their boss going to get mad at them for approving it? But if they have a photo they can point to that gives them a little bit more license to to approve that stuff.
We try to be reasonable. We try to talk with everybody. We want the adjusters to understand that we're really using it because we want to protect the customer's property. There's a safety element in there too. It keeps people out of our workplace, keeps nails off the ground for pets and kids and homeowners later. Adjusters like hearing all that stuff because it's all true and it all makes sense. It kind of goes back to that storytelling and documentation. So that's how we do it. There's a million different ways to do it. You can ask for it for all kinds of things. I know there are guys that do bid items, but that's just how we do it. We have kind of spun a safety element to it for adjusters from time to time. We're talking to them, but it's more about the job site safety of the customers and stuff after the job. And one of the kind of buzzwords that we've used with some adjusters that are pretty feisty about it is that we're trying to mitigate ensuing damages. These people have a lot of high-end landscaping here, flowers, shrubs, Japanese maples, whatever all that stuff is. The story of the lady who brought her great-great-grandfather's peony bush from South Carolina down here to Texas when they migrated 100 years ago, whatever that story is.
Yeah. So Trey says, would you supplement before or after the job for the catch-all?
I mean, most of the time we supplement after because we're not going to stop a job. Right. Yeah, the photos got to be there too to really tell the story.
Right.
And we're not going to not do the job without that. Even with that mindset, we're still getting it, 30% of the time we're getting it paid for.
Right.
But it's really about the storytelling.
I think it's been going up too as more and more adjusters are familiar with seeing the catch-all.
It is, and it's the likelihood, our percentage of likelihood is going up specifically on highly landscaped jobs.
Right.
They're basically not denying those anymore.